I grew up in Sherman Oaks, a little town in the fabled San Fernando Valley. During those years, the 50s, now called mid-century, the valley was great. A suburb of Los Angeles, for a long time it was a farming community consisting of large ranchos and acres of citrus groves. Its close proximity to Hollywood made it an easy place for studio workers to live. It was not uncommon in my town to see the beautiful actress Jane Russell and her husband, Rams quarterback Bob Waterfield, sitting with feet propped up on the seats in front of them, munching popcorn at the Lorena, our local movie theater. After World War II, the population exploded. Many of those great guys who traveled through sunny California on their way to do battle in the Pacific returned home, then moved west. Living in the SFV was a blast. I met and married a Valley boy, and we began our happily ever after. One particular weekend, our family was coming home on the 5 North after spending a few days in San Diego. The kids were hungry, so we decided to stop somewhere for lunch. We hung a left at Laguna Canyon. The road ended at the water's edge in the small seaside village of Laguna Beach. It was instant love. That afternoon, our lives changed forever. From that time on, we went to Laguna as often as possible. One lovely day in 1980, we sat on what had become our favorite beach, Woods Cove. It was one of those late afternoons in the summer when the heat of day had ebbed and the breeze was perfect. The girls were resting on their towels, content. Listening to the gulls call and the surf's answer, I did not want to go home. I could see that Roger was lost in thought. Always a dangerous situation. What? I asked him. With a firm nod of his head, he looked at me and said, "Yep, we're moving here." After a major eye roll, I replied, "Yeah, like that's going to happen. Not possible. Our families, the kids' schools." Raj listened to me go on and on about how our moving to Laguna just would not work. Reaching into the ice chest, he pulled out a cold bottle of Corona. Flashing his Irish smile, he handed it to me and said, "You can't walk on water, kiddo, if you don't get out of the boat." 6 months later, after a bit of faltering, I climbed out onto the water and we moved to the OC. This week, we witness Jesus as he continues to teach Peter. He was still Simon and not quite ready to be called the Rock. Jesus had just finished preaching and feeding a miraculous lunch to the people. Needing some time alone, he sent the disciples off in a boat. In the middle of the night, the Lord saw that a storm threatened them. In typical Jesus fashion, he did the impossible. He walked toward them on top of the water. They all thought that he was a ghost. Peter saw that it was Jesus, and his instinct was to go to him. He said this, "If it is really you, command me to come to you on the water." Jesus said, "Come." Peter got out of the boat and began to walk on the water. Then he looked down. Guess what? Oh yeah, he began to sink. Peter begged our Lord to save him. Jesus reached out his hand, saying, "Oh, you of little faith, why do you doubt?" When everyone was safe, they understood. "Truly," they said, "you are the Son of God." In our stormy sea, do we have faith in Jesus or doubt him? would we climb out of the boat? When God pushes you off the edge of difficulty, trust Him fully, because two things can happen. Either He'll catch you when you fall, or He will teach you how to fly.
Put your hand in the hand of a man who still the water. Put your hand in the hand of a man who calmed the sea. Take a look at yourself, and you can look at others differently. Put your hand in the hand of a man